1063.com.
And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Matthews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome to Coast Vue, the show that celebrates every single day the people who are making coastal Mississippi such an amazing place to live, work, and play. You know, first of all, I hope you had a great weekend and are having a wonderful Monday. You know, we've had a string of amazing shows recently, and I have so many missions. You know, I have a mission about stopping human trafficking. I have a mission about connecting the coast to the Delta. I have a mission about focusing on entrepreneurship. There's so many positive things that we're focused on, and I appreciate you going on that journey with us. By the way, if you're listening on 103.1, we really appreciate you doing that. You may be engaging this on your favorite podcast platform. You can find Coast Vue however you want to find us on social media with Facebook and YouTube. We're there however, whenever you want to do it. Really good conversation. I want to kind of bring you focusing in on just a bit is the conversation I had with Bill Luckett last week. Bill is an attorney, the former mayor of Clarksdale. He, with a couple of other partners and Morgan Freeman, started the Ground Zero Blues Club in Clarksdale over 20 years ago, and it's been incredibly successful. Their efforts are really to be applauded. And I've gone back and listened to that conversation with Bill a couple of times because, number one, I love blues music. I have a place in the Delta. But Bill is so passionate, and he has such a way with words. So if you missed that conversation, I really encourage you to go back and take a look at it. When I have conversations about entrepreneurs, I always share two specific quotes that I really like. One is from Steve Jobs when he said this: "I'm convinced that about half of what separates successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance." If you're going to be in business in coastal Mississippi, you got to know about perseverance, and you got to know about resiliency, which incidentally is the big quality I think we share with the Mississippi Delta. And the other is from Walt Disney: "All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." When we talk to entrepreneurs on Coast Vue, we get a real sense that in every case, they have a dream. And sometimes the dream is kind of small, and they just want to go do it. And then it grows, and it morphs, and it becomes something really big. Today, I'm really pleased to have Brad Orrison and Brooke Lewis from the Shed, I guess the Shed and Blues joint. But what I love about the Shed story is it kind of bottles up a little bit of a story about the Delta and blues, a lot about entrepreneurship, a lot about perseverance and tenacity, and about pursuing your dreams. We could go on, but it's a little bit about all those things, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, you're right. Thanks for having us.
Yes, we are super excited to talk to you. And thank you, Ricky, for everything that you do and really trying to tie everybody together, especially statewide. So we appreciate you for that.
Well, I love, I told you that I've loved watching you over the many years. We go back a long way. You guys were young when you started the business. You were, I think, 19, Brooke.
Yeah.
And your brother was 24. And we're going to tell some of those stories. But I remember when I started the Sun Hero Leadership Awards and the top 10 under 40, my team and I had this vision for what we wanted to see, the kind of people we wanted to see recognized. Well, Brad was in one of the first classes of the top 10 under 40. I remember you guys had this table and the family was there and everybody was so proud. But I mean, you think about the young entrepreneurs across coastal Mississippi that are making a go at it. And Brad, you have proven over the last 20 years in August, that you've stood the test of time through all of this. And we're gonna talk about that. And Brooke, what I remember most about you is, well, besides the fact that you're a wonderful person, is that when we had Beach Boulevard, every time I bumped into you, you would tell me, "Ricky, you have not put me on the cover of Beach Boulevard yet."
I mean, shameless self-promoter. That's what.
Hey, look, the one regret I have in all my career is that I didn't have the ability now to look back at the moment that I put Brooke on the cover of Beach Boulevard. But
I was ready. I had my Shed shirt pressed. I was ready to go.
Listen, I'm so sorry for that miscue along my career. But anyway, you guys, you're committed to the community. You really are committed to blues. You've had so many cool blues musicians that have come through your building. But we're gonna talk about all that. You've evolved your business. You're distributing sauces and marinades and all kinds of other stuff for yourselves and other people. It's really a great story. But let's start from the beginning. Brad, you had this goal. You started really small, and it evolved pretty quickly, didn't it?
It did. Thanks to Brooke coming in and making sure that, we could deal with the money. Because the biggest thing is with entrepreneurs is great. It doesn't even have to be a good idea. It just has to be something that you want to work towards. So I had that. And Brooke said, you're not that good at math. So maybe I need to help you out in counting some money and making sure. And without Brooke, we wouldn't be celebrating 20 years this year.
Oh, well, I think, we opened the shed 20 years ago in August next month. I know, right? 19, like you said, 24 on a shoestring budget without the shoestring. It was just literally a dream. And the dreams still haven't stopped. Yeah.
We said, hey, we're going to open a barbecue and blues joint. And, I used to go up to the Junior Kimbroughs and R.L. Burnside on Highway 4 up in North Mississippi and watch Cedric Burnside and all those cats. And really the idea with the shed was a blues joint without the raging all-night party. I wanted to bring it into a family atmosphere. That's why we call the shed a family food drinkery. And still to this day, there's nothing that makes me happier than seeing a blues band on the stage and some like 6 or 7, 10-year-old kid out there dancing because they get it. So, it's nice to feel it. It's nice to be part of just keeping that tradition alive. And we've spent like $1 million, no doubt, on free blues entertainment at the shed for 20 years now. We have charged at our festivals, but as a basis, it's really just, it's an honor to be able to put it out there, not only give back to the musicians, but also, maybe ignite the fire and let some of those kids have some fun too.
Yeah.
Brad, that's the first time I've heard that specific part of the goal, and I think it's really cool, this whole notion of bringing blues into a family atmosphere. If you think about the impetus for blues, blues was all about juke joints, and you go back to especially in the African American community back, 20s, 30s, 40s, really, really important to that community. And even the preachers back in those days said this was devil's music, and they didn't want anybody getting near it because you could go into that part of the town. Bill Luckett talked about that, and you would just see people heads bobbing and music playing in all these corners. And one of the most important things that ever happened to Mississippi is the Beatles and Rolling Stones and Eric Clapton and all these people were touched by this incredible music that was coming out of the Mississippi Delta, and it became sort of the base, the foundation for most music that we see today, and they have inspired people from around the world. You had a sense of that. Where did that come from?
We've always, growing up, our mom, we have the same mom. We're brother sister. Yeah, it's crazy. But my mom was a professional clown named Teardrop. And she literally raised us on the stage. So we've always appreciated being on a stage and looking out at the audience. But what I've always loved more is being in the audience and just enjoying just music in general, and that vibe and just kind of that tradition of music. And
then we have Brett, the middle sibling. I'm the baby,
yep.
And Brad's the oldest. And Brett, whenever we opened the shed, of course, Brad went to Ole Miss, so he was, again, always in the juke joints and feeling that vibe. But the middle sibling is very music-oriented. He's a sound engineer, has a recording studio in Austin, Texas. And when we opened the shed, he said, well, you can't have barbecue and beer without the blues. And we already had a passion about music and about all the way down to just 12-bar traditional blues, and how that's kind of the foundation of so much music and so many different genres. And so he started booking live entertainment, live bands. Rochelle Harper here locally was one of the first, I think the first band that ever played at the Shed 20 years ago.
For sure.
And like Brad said, we've invested a lot of time and a lot of money to just be able to put out free music and really try to keep that alive. So thank you to Brett, who just really got us in that perpetual motion forward to say, hey, look, we need to have bands consistently, and we need to find the right bands that fit what we're trying to do, tell the stories of these legendary blues artists and keep their legends alive. And
inspire others to have it pass, traditional blues music to be passed on. I always like to say, and no offense to Disney World, but we're not trying to replicate some kind of a theme park atmosphere. What we're trying to do is connect with the soul of Mississippi that is represented through the blues music. And, you guys have had Percy Sledge along the way, and we mentioned Cedric Burnside and the entire Burnside family. What a great history they have, a generational history they have in blues music. Steve Azar, who's music and cultural ambassador of the state of Mississippi, written over 1,000 songs, spent 15 years in Nashville. He's been on the show many times. He has a show on SuperTalk called In the Mississippi Minute. He recently did a collaboration with Cedric Burnside called Cold Water. It's a beautiful and amazing song, kind of an anthem in a way to the pandemic, is the way he talked about it. Been downloaded, a million times or whatever. It's incredible how something like that goes forward. He talked about Cedric and others when they go to Europe. They're unbelievably successful. There's so much we could talk about blues music, but I want to go back and talk about the evolution of the food. And by the way, I turned my TV on about a week ago, and there was Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives with Guy Ferrari, which is a great story about how he helped actually put you guys on the map. We're going to talk about all that when we come back after the break. We have Brooke Lewis and Brad Orrison from The Shed, and we'll see you after this break.
Coast Vue on SuperTalk 103.1 is brought to you by J. Allen Toyota on I-10 exit 38 Gulfport. See all the incredible inventory at allentoyota.com. And remember, when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visits.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi. If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to good things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen. Okay. Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, casinoradio1063.com.
His love for the coast is why he's here. It's Coast Vue with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
All across coastal Mississippi, there are amazing stories of entrepreneurship. And when you find that story, you find inspiration embedded all throughout. And you'll find great partners, you'll find collaborations. You never know what the story is going to tell you, but there's so much inspiration. And that's definitely true in this story of the ascension of the shed as it relates to Brad Orrison and Brooke Lewis. Brad, one thing I'd like to say is that you mentioned at the beginning of the show, but you were lucky that you had Brooke. Brooke is a master marketer. Her ability to represent the brand and connect people to the brand, especially early in your ascension. She had a background in science, incidentally. So, the last thing I think she ever expected to do is do what she's doing. But at 19 years old, you hit the ground running, Brooke. What is it about this that really grabbed you and it really was able to pull from you? What are some of the most interesting characteristics about yourself that helped this company be successful?
Oh, well, thank you for the boasting and bragging.
Hey, that was good.
I will pay you later.
Yeah.
I will pay you later for that. I think really, the shed and how we developed is a family affair. We always, Brad and I started the shed again on a shoestring budget without the shoestring. And he is so creative, and I like to call him a dumpster diver extraordinaire. So, and we had this passion for food. We were raised in a foodie family and music. But really, the nuts and bolts of it are that we took Brad's dumpster diving finds, and we, together as brother and sister, hammered and nailed old restored wood and upcycling as much as we could. Yep. Number one, because that's a wonderful thing to do. But number two, because we were two kids and didn't have any money to go, we borrowed our grandmother's Lowe's credit card. And that's the reason we had new nails and new screws.
Not very many.
Not very many, though. But really the family affair of the shed is that my mom and my dad, our mom and our dad, were fifth generation entrepreneurs. So there is a passion-driven sense there in entrepreneurship. But my mom has always preached to us and did our marketing.
You want me to tell them how it works?
Yeah, tell them how it works.
5 people in the family, right? So I came up with the idea of the shed. Brooke made sure we make money at the shed. My little brother books all the blues entertainment at the shed. My mom did all our marketing and told everybody about the shed. And my dad not only made the sauce, but also made sure nobody did anything stupid. So we had a nice little check and balance system. Yeah. And still to this day, a man named Papa Jack invented the sauce at the shed, and my dad opened the saucery where we make our sauces and other people's sauces. But Brooke, back to you. I'm like, what is it? What is it that keeps you showing up every day?
Well, I tell you, just the love for you, Brad.
Oh, thank you.
No, and that's the thing is that it's the lessons that we learned from our parents. Like my mom was like, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you better be a shameless self-promoter. You've got to get out there. You've got to live on the outside of the 4 walls of your business as much as you do on the inside. And so, and that's why we travel around the country too. We teach classes, we do food presentation, we compete with our barbecue competition team. And that is all marketing for us as well. Not only that, but we support our local news stations and local newspapers by taking out ads there as well. But really, our mom did the marketing for years until a couple of years ago. She said, I'm going to retire because I already retired once and then started working for my kids. And now I'm officially retiring. And of course, our dad retired from the Saucery, which is our co-packing facility. And Brad is the leader of that.
The leader of the pack.
Yeah.
Vroom, vroom.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. We got things to do.
But what happened, though, you guys got pretty good at barbecue. And you talked about your competition team, Brooke. You guys have had some tremendous success over the years. How you refined your abilities. Tell me about that.
Well, the thing is, yes, we have gotten really lucky, and we've won a bunch of competitions, World Grand Championships. But you know what? The deal is we never tell anybody when we lose. So we have been out there fighting for those awards for many, many years. Before we did well at Memphis in May, we had to refine our skills and figure out not only what our customer likes, what we personally like, and also what the judges are looking for. And still, when we go to competitions, we'll do the American Royal in September. Mm-hmm. That's one that I haven't done very well at, and it's on my bucket list to win, and I'm going to win it. But we've been there for 10 years now, and every year we take away one little note. So the learning curve is not over,
Yeah. Hey, well, you know what's interesting, Brad? Netflix and maybe others, maybe the Food Channel to some extent, but has brought a lot more clarity and awareness, actually, of these competitions and what it takes to win. And you may do a big whole hog, but you still are. There's only a part of that, a very tiny bit of that whole hog that's going to get eaten, right. And it better be the right one, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The main competition that Brooke and I have always made sure is the most important is that the customers like our food. They like to come get fed at the shed. So every day that I show up, I feel like I'm in a little bit of competition to win over the taste buds of somebody that may be from around the world. We've seen tourists come in from the globe, literally. Yeah. And I've always just set out to make something that 85% of people will love, and the rest will just tell somebody about.
Right. It's hard. It's hard to do your business in the day of social media, but it's just the reality of the situation.
And I think too, and we talk about this a lot too, in the competition world, you're successful when you have a team, just like you are in the restaurant world or any other industry. And we feel very, very, very humbled and very blessed to have such an amazing team that works with us. Our management team has been with us from 19 years to the newest guy on the management totem pole has been with us for 16 years. That's the new kid on the block. So we're very blessed for that, and we're very blessed to have an amazing retention rate and family at the shed and on our competition team. And I think that's really the heart of the success is when you have people that work with you, and it's not for you, it's with you.
We're a team. I come to work every day.
Yeah, that have that same, passion and drive to really make it successful and make themselves successful and still want to learn.
And Brooke, what's interesting about the retention of the people that are with your team is that when you think about, just think about what you guys have gone through. You've been burned down. You've had all these floods along the way. Hurricane Katrina, challenges with rebuilding because of codes. You guys have literally dealt with so much, and then the pandemic. Right. The pandemic alone.
The
pandemic alone could have created so many opportunities for people to leave, but you've been able to hold it together. There are a lot of people in your business that can't tell that story. You're more lucky in that area than maybe you even understand about the difficulties that you could, the culture is passed on through your people. It's hard to bring somebody from the outside in and teach them the culture. It's hard. It's really hard. You need people that have been there for a while, who've been with you through the test of time, through the test of resiliency and challenges that you faced. It's a hell of a story.
Yeah, it is a hell of a story.
It's not over yet just because we're celebrating 20 years. Everybody's like, how is it owning your own business? I'm like, well, I actually have a great job, and I do happen to own the place, but it's my job to go to the shed, to come to the saucery, to make sure that our 60 plus team members are happy. I try to keep everybody in a moving forward state. We have a lot of people that their first job will be at the shed, 15 years old, and they'll work with us all the way through high school, through junior college. And then one day we have one leaving in August, say, Brad, Brooke, I've been here for 6 years and I have to quit. And we say, well, why are you quitting? They're like, I'm going to college. And it's so bittersweet. And, now we have celebrating 20 years. It's funny because I always think that I'm still like the young kid on the block. And until somebody says, Brad, when you opened the shed, I was 8. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, Brad, it's really amazing to see how people kind of stick with you over the years. You've actually mentioned the saucery a couple of times. And as we get ready to go to break, you do rubs and you do sauces and you do other stuff as well, marinades. How many shelves are you guys on across the United States?
Oh, our biggest shelf is on the internet, and but we've been on over 10,000 shelves over the years. You name it, we've been there, and really our focus has always been community driven, and our community is online. And the support that we're seeing for our online sales has put another smile on our face.
That's awesome. That's so awesome to hear. Hey, when we come back with Brad Orrison and Brooke Lewis, we're going to talk about the evolution of shed heads and so much more. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation.
Listen live or on demand and watch episodes of Coast Vue on your laptop, desktop, or on your phone or tablet by going to supertalkmsgulfcoast.com.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, casinoradio1063.com.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visits.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, South Mississippi, the future has arrived. It's 2021, and at J. Allen Toyota, we're here to serve you. Want to let you know that we have Allen's lifetime warranty on every new Toyota we sell. That also comes with Toyota Care. That's 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. We have a great rental department. Our service department's ready to take care of your current vehicle. We're rolling out J. Allen certified pre-owned for 2021. You got to come to I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport. You're going to love what we have to offer. When you think Toyota, think Allen Toyota.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. Talking to Paul Thorne, Mississippi true treasure, really incredible recording artist, singer, songwriter, has been doing it a long time, doing it the right way.
It's almost like a Forrest Gump thing because, I was a boxer, / I worked in a furniture factory, / I had a gig 2 nights a week playing my acoustic guitar in a pizza restaurant, / I was in the National Guard. And,
Wow.
All this stuff was going on at the same time. / I had a writing contract with Rick Hall and Fame.
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive, fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show
on Super Talk Mississippi.
Super Talk Mississippi. Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth. When you want the truth. Simply because it might hurt some feelings. And nothing but the truth. Lose some subscribers. You want the Gallo Radio Show. I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead. The Gallo Radio Show. And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself. Mornings on Super Talk Mississippi.
And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Matthews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota, Gulf Coast Business Supply, and AGJ Systems and Networks on Super Talk 103.1 FM.
Welcome back to Coast Vue. We're having a terrific conversation with Brad Orrison and Brooke Lewis from The Shed. And gosh, it's just so much to talk about. There's no way that we could all, fit it all in one show. But, there's so many interesting things. Okay, so the evolution of a shed head, the shed's junkyard, and how that happened, and man, the list goes on and on. But it was the show with Guy Ferrari that really kind of put you on the map. Again, I saw it. I saw that show just a couple of weeks ago. So it's one of those gifts that just keep coming back and giving itself back to you guys, isn't it?
It really is. I don't know if it was the first or second season, but I remember getting the call and thinking, wow, all our hard work it's going to pay off. I mean, it's paying off. This guy's going to come feature us in a nationwide. And it was actually a person that was stationed at Keesler that sent the letter in and said, hey, you guys need to come cover this. And a lot of people don't know, we have the same thing on the menu 20 years later that we did on day one. We haven't tried to reinvent the wheel. We did add French fries, but we have been a strictly beer, barbecue, and blues family food drinkery. We haven't changed the recipes. It is, we say we do the same thing every day because, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I agree.
Yeah, we're not fixing anything. We're keeping the beer cold and the barbecue hot.
Yeah.
And
I think that really the Triple D episode that we were on with Guy, kind of helped snowball the brand and the Shed family and the Shed crew family into so many more series and shows and competition shows. And 20 years later, we've been featured, and I say this very humbly, on just about every major network, from ABC's Regis and Kelly Live,
Nickelodeon, Man vs. Food.
Yeah.
You had your own reality show.
Yeah, we had our own series called The Shed. On Food Network, we did 6 episodes. And it's, I'll tell you, we've had some really highs and we've had some really lows. And, hard work pays off. And I'm still, today I was on the bottling line. We do about 1,800 bottles an hour, and I can't leave it. But, you know, to support you, Ricky, and the Coast and the community that's always supported us, hey, I'll stop what I'm doing in a heartbeat to help somebody else make their dream come true.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's embedded in everything you guys say, but perseverance, and resiliency, the ability to bounce back. You guys have that embedded in your souls, don't you?
It came from our parents, and really the first week that we were open, Brooke was 19, and so she couldn't go to the gas station and buy a cold beer. However, she had a beer permit in her name, so we could have it delivered to the shed. Needless to say, we had an interesting night, and we had a hangover the next day, and we decided not to open. And I think this was like day number 4, and my dad drove to my house, and he woke me up, and he drove to Brooke's house, and he woke her up, and he said, "You told the community you were going to be open, and you have to be open. You can't tell the community something and not do it." And I learned that lesson right there, and I got out of bed. That was the last time that happened. I got out of bed.
It was a one and
done. We went to work, and yeah, we were late, but we had people there expecting us to do something. And, so when you're an entrepreneur, the hardest person to explain yourself to is you.
Yeah.
And, so we took that one to heart. And other than like Hurricane Katrina, we were closed for 1 day, 2 days. We had a fire, closed us down for 3 or 4 days.
Well, and I think with that, it's in barbecue, all we need is meat and wood, and we can have something to feed people. And that's led us a long way. And also, I'm actually wearing the shirt, Operation Barbecue Relief is a national and becoming international nonprofit organization where the barbecue community comes together, during natural disaster, tornadoes, fires, floods, hurricanes, during natural disaster times. And they come into ground zero and they feed people because we need fuel and proteins. And there's so many amazing companies, nationwide companies that have reached out and support Operation Barbecue Relief. And then there's people that just the barbecue world, it's such a wonderful community that come together and their boots on the ground. But I think that's how
the local community is.
And the local community.
Oh man, after the fire, I still watch some of that footage because we were doing a documentary. And I just am still overwhelmed by the amount of support that we have here in our local community. And, I always say, I'll do anything to help somebody else's dream come true. But it's because everybody has helped us make our dream come true. So, what's my job at the shed? Well, I'm a glorified kitchen guy, but I'm also an instigator. I like to have a good time, and I like if somebody needs help, it's a whole lot easier to give it than it is to receive it. But we have been on both ends of it, and
we have.
And hey, it's just part of the deal. You got to support the people that support you.
Absolutely. When we opened the shed 20 years ago, one of our main goals was to make our restaurant, the Shed Barbecue and Blues Joint, a platform for community outreach and fundraisers. And we've done well over 250 fundraisers on location.
Easy.
I could not even calculate the amount of fundraisers that we have provided food for or some sort of service for, monetary donations, gift baskets, things like that. Multiple a week, every week since the day we open. And that's just, you just have to continue to pay forward and support people. I will tear up talking about it.
And we needed the support also.
And it's so hard, like Brad said, it's so hard to receive that. It's so hard to say, oh, we do need your help. We did just burn completely to the ground. So it's harder for us, we like to give it. It's very hard to receive it. But there have been many times in our world, the shed world, that we have needed help, and there have been, and we will continue to give it more than receive it, because we feel like paying it forward is so critically important.
Well, you guys personify something I talk about all the time, that at the heart and soul of coastal Mississippi is a resiliency, the ability to bounce back. It's been driven into us through our experience. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of a competitive advantage during the pandemic and coming out of the pandemic, because we've been there before. We know what that looks like.
Right.
We share that sense of resiliency with our friends in the Delta, which is one of the reasons I like to talk about that as well. But I say this all the time, that buildings don't make a community, the people do. That's the key. As long as you're in the business and you have an enduring core value, which you guys do, and that drives your sense of mission, you can burn down, wash away, blow down. Nothing's going to stop that sense of mission that you guys are engaged in. So, when you find your purpose in life, that's the thing that's enduring. It's that sense of purpose. It's feeding people. It's introducing blues. It's giving back to the community. And all those, sharing yourself to people. It's all of those things combined that create this opportunity to persevere. If you don't have all those things, sometimes it's hard to come back and try to bounce back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you, when we travel and when all of our visitors come to the shed, we're right off of I-10, exit 57, barbecue heaven. So we have a lot of the community that supports us and eats that gets fed at the shed, but also a lot of people from around the world. And I'll tell you, some of the most proudest times that we've had is traveling, when people say, "Where are you from?" and we say, "Mississippi."
That's right. Mississippi. We're from South Mississippi.
Yeah. And we're very proud to say that. We're very proud of Mississippi, and we're proud of the people of Mississippi. But like you say, I think if you were to wrap up a word for the people of Mississippi, yes, perseverance, but I think tenacity.
Oh, yeah. Capital T, tenacity.
Yes. And resilience, obviously, because we in the South, we just put our pants on and we just, whatever the challenge is, we face it and we keep moving forward. But we also have this support system in the South, and especially in Mississippi, that there's just nothing like it.
So we got 1 minute left in this segment. We'll come back on the other end and finish the conversation about the evolution of shed heads. But Brad, tell me about the hat.
Oh, man. Well, we only have a minute to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll come back. I'll tell you what, let's come back on the other side, because I want to hear the story. That's your sort of signal to the world.
It is. And it's not just because I sunburn really easy. It's also because, I like to be recognized in a crowd, and this really works out.
I'm sure it does.
We call them We call them
Brad Orrison and Brooke Lewis from the Shed. We'll come back for our final segment after this.
You can also listen live to SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on your Amazon Alexa devices. Once you've enabled the skill, just say, "Alexa, open SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast."
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever, with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We're talking to Dale Berra. Take me back to growing up and what it was like in the household with a dad like Yogi Berra.
You know, we grew up with his funny sayings. You know, I remember Dad managing the Mets, and me, Larry, and Timmy are watching the game on TV. And all of a sudden, two streakers run out of the stands on TV, and the camera slips away from them. So when he gets home, me, Larry, and Timmy say, "Hey, Dad, those streakers, what were they, boys or girls? We need to know." And Dad looked us right in the eye and said, "I couldn't tell. They had bags over their heads."
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. I love doing this show because it gives me a chance to spend time with friends that I've known for many years. It gives me a chance to get to know the people behind, you know, the sort of public persona and hear their story. This is Brad Orrison and Brooke Lewis from the Shed. Brad, when we went to break, you said, of course, you're kind of light complected. You want to protect yourself from the sun, but you also know that the marketing of wearing that unique hat has made you stand out in the crowd, and it has worked, hasn't it?
It really has. You know, branding is a big deal. And, you know, that's my background in college was marketing and business administration. And the first time Brooke and I had won a cruise, and we went on a cruise, and I realized the first day I was completely sunburned, and I saw they had a hat for sale, and it looked just like this one in the little gift shop. And I put this hat on, and for the rest of the week, I had people like, "Oh, I saw you on level 3. Oh, I saw you over at the pizza late night. Oh, I saw you." And I realized that you know, the only thing bigger than yourself is the brand that you create. And this hat, and you know, I'll tell you, Ricky, I saw my mom in the grocery store the other day, and you know what she said? She said, "Oh, Brad, where's your hat?" I'm like, "Mom, I don't even exist, huh? I'm not even Brad without this hat on, right?"
So real quick, though, the evolution of the Shed head, you know, I can't help but think about it. I asked you about Mr. Jim and Mr. Gus to see, you know, unfortunately they've passed away, but you've got a lot of long-standing, you know, people who've come there. They've become Shed heads. In the case of Mr. Jim and Mr. Gus, they became sort of the, what'd you call them?
Pimps. Yeah. Pimps.
You bought them suits along the way. What a great story.
Yeah, the Mr. Jim was our first customer, and he came to the Shed every day, every single day that we were open until literally like 2 days before he passed away. And he'd open the door for people, and he'd say, "Hey, welcome to the Shed." And just that little greeting right there, and the fact that he was always willing to do some day drinking, you know, can't argue with that. You know, so it really has, a Shed head is somebody who has been to the Shed twice. Mm-hmm. So the first time you come to the Shed, get fed, get some barbecue, pulled pork sandwich with a coleslaw topper and some of GMO's beans and Mama Mia's mac salad, and maybe a cold beer. You say this is something different and this is special. And they say, well, how do I become a shed head? I say, well, the second time you come in, you're an official shed head, and we will have people leave and then come back that same day just so they are classified as a shed head. And without the shed heads all around the nation, the shed wouldn't exist. And I know our family truly appreciates all of the support that we've gotten from our local family, our extended family, and everybody that's ever gotten fed at the shed. And hey, if you haven't been there in a while,
yes,
come on down.
Do people still bring stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Every day. I'll show up and there'll be a piano in front of the front door. We can't even unlock it. It's a piano. Or a race car. We showed up. There's a race car at the front door.
Well, and
it's license plates.
Yeah.
You name it. And everybody says, well, Brad, why do people bring you stuff? I say, because this is its second or third life, and they know I will not get rid of it. It's going to be there. It's not just a decoration. It's a story piece. Yeah. When you come to the shed, it's not just a bunch of stuff hanging on the wall. There's a story behind every thing that's there.
Farm implements and a chainsaw, brick, what else?
Yeah.
You name it. It's there. I probably got it. If you need it, I probably got it.
Yeah.
It might be a little rusty, but.
Well, we have people all the time that come in and they're like, hey, I saw this thing outside and is it for sale? And we say, no, it's not ours. We're just lending it a home. This is somebody's story and this is theirs. But we're just letting it, we're just showcasing it.
It's like the Olympic torch. We're just holding on to it for a little while to be able to tell its story again.
Yes, because the shed is really built out of the community and people's treasures and stories. And I'll tell you,
we haven't talked about, in the short time we have left, you actually branched out into bowling crawfish and other seafood. Tell about that evolution.
Well, it's, I'm a crawfish fan, and I still say that nobody can beat me eating crawfish. If anybody wants, just hit me up on our social media at the Shed BBQ. But crawfish is a local tradition here in South Mississippi. We have some of the best crawfish cooks in the world are right here, and we just had a ton of tourists, and they said, hey, we want crawfish and we want a shrimp po' boy, and we didn't do the shrimp po' boy because we only fried French fries and okra. But the crawfish we do, and we buy the big king crawfish, big selects, and this year, we're out of time with that, but we'll do it again next year, and we're really just looking forward to celebrating our 20-year anniversary all year long. So every live music that we have, you name it, the crawfish, the beer, the barbecue, the blues, the buddies, the family. And Ricky, it's an honor to be part of this show, man. Thank you. Anytime y'all want to have talk, we're in.
Well, what's cool about your story, obviously, there's a lot of inspiration. As I said, there's all these interesting, relationships and enduring core values that you've carried with you. And it continues to evolve today. Who knows what the future will show. I look forward to coming back. I haven't been there in a while myself. I'll come back and visit with you guys. But this has been an amazing story about entrepreneurship, perseverance, tenacity, and just fun. So Brad Orrison and Brooke Lewis, thank you so much for visiting with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Y'all come get fed at the shed.
And thanks to everybody out there that's listening or watching. Thank you for the support.
Yeah.
You bet. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Bye.
Follow SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on Facebook. Facebook.com/SuperTalk MS Coast 103.1.